Hello students. Yesterday we read some of the pages of the chapter in the Kingdom of Fools, which is chapter 4 from your book Moment. We read that in this kingdom the things were quite different, where the king had passed an order where according to which the night will be treated as day. People would work during night and they will sleep during day. Again, there was one more thing, that everything was so cheap, it cost only one to do. So when once one disciple and a guru, they arrived in the kingdom, they found it quite strange. They were so surprised that how this kingdom was having everything at one. They were so delighted. But soon the guru realized that it would be dangerous to stay there, but the disciple was fool enough to stay there. The guru tried to convince him to leave the town, but he did not listen to his guru, neither his advice. So the disciple stayed there in the kingdom of fool while the guru left the town immediately, because he knew that it would be really dangerous to stay there. Then later on, once there was a trouble that a rich merchant's wool fell down on a thief, and the brother of the thief went to the king for the justice. He said, "Sir, the rich merchant was at fault. He was the murderer of his brother because his wool fell on his brother when he was burgling at, or he was robbing his home." The king was fool enough. He did not understand the case. He immediately called the rich merchant as an accused, as he put the blame on the rich merchant that the thief was killed because of him. Let's see what happened further in the story. When the rich merchant was called, he put the blame on the bricklayer, and the bricklayer put the blame on the dancing girl that we had read yesterday. So the dancing girl was called, and she was an old woman. She came trembling. Trembling means shivering to the court. She was afraid as well as she was old. So she was trembling. The king asked, "Did you walk up and down the street many years ago while the poor man was making the wall? Did you see him?" The lady said, "Yes, my lord. I remember it very well." "So you did walk up and down with your anklet jingling. You were young and you distracted him, so he built a weak wall." So now the blame was put on the dancing girl for the murder of the thief. It had fallen on a burglar, on a thief, and he was killed. You have killed an innocent man. You will be punished. She thought for a minute, and she said, "My lord, I know that why I was walking up and down that street. I had given some jewelry to the goldsmith, but the goldsmith was so lazy. He was lazy and he made so many excuses that he made her walk up and down to his house dozen a time." So she put the blame on the goldsmith, that due to the goldsmith she went up and down the street many a times because her jewelry was not made and the jeweler was making so many excuses. "So when the bricklayer saw me, it was not my fault. My lord, it's the damn goldsmith fault." So she put the blame on the goldsmith for making her up and down the street many a times. "Poor thing, she is absolutely right," thought the king. Weighing the evidence means she got to know that the evidence was right, it was valuable, so he called the goldsmith. We have got the real culprit. Culprit means the real criminal. Get the goldsmith. So finally the king sent the messengers to find the goldsmith. The king's bailiffs, the king's servants, or his sepoys went to search the goldsmith, he was hiding in a corner of his shop because he got to know the accusation. Accusation means the blame against him. He had his own story to tell. He said, "My lord, I am a poor man. I am a poor goldsmith. It is true that I made this dancer come many a times and I made so many excuses because I could not finish making her jewelry on time. The reason that I could not make her jewelry was that there was a rich merchant's order of jewelry because there was a wedding in their home and he was forcing him to prepare his jewelry first. That's why he could not finish the jewelry, or he could not prepare the jewelry of the dancing girl, and he had to make so many excuses." Now the goldsmith was so clever. He put the blame on the rich merchant who gave him jewelry to prepare. And he said the rich merchant was so impatient that he could not have patience to wait for his jewelry to be prepared. Now the king said, "Okay, who is that rich merchant who kept you away from finishing the poor woman's jewelry? And you made her walk up and down many a times, which distracted this bricklayer, and he made a bad wall, which has now fallen on the thief. It had fallen on the innocent man and killed him. Can you name that rich merchant?" The goldsmith named the rich merchant, and he was none other than but the real owner of the house whose wall had fallen. Better see the circle. It started from the merchant. The blame started from the rich merchant, then passed to the bricklayer, then passed to the dancing girl, then goldsmith, and then again merchant. But this time, this merchant is the father of the merchant who gave the jewelry to be prepared to the goldsmith. Now it was a full circle. The blame was in full circle and started from the rich merchant and reached there only. Now the king thought, and he called the rich merchant again. Summoned mean he called the rich merchant again. He arrived crying. The rich merchant came and he said, "Sir, it was not me. It was my father who ordered the jewelry. He is dead. I am innocent. I must not be punished. His father was dead. Why he would be punished for the fault of his father?" But the king consulted his minister and ruled decisively. He was determined and he gave an order. What order he had decided? He said, "Yes, it is true that your father is the true murderer, but he is dead. But somebody must be punished in his place. You have inherited. Inherited means to get something from parents. So you have inherited his money as well as his sins. Sins means bad actions. So you need to bear the result or the consequence of the bad actions of your father. अगर तुमने अपने पापा की सारी प्रॉपर्टी भी रखी है तो तुम्हें अपने फादर के बैड एक्शंस का फल भी भुगतना पड़ेगा. So finally the king decided to punish the rich merchant for the bad actions or for the sins of his father. I knew at once that even when I first set eyes on you, that you were at the root of this horrible crime. That the king said the rich merchant was the real cause of the crime. You must die. And he ordered a new stake. It's like a rope where the person will be executed. ठीक है, फांसी का फंदा बनवाया गया. And the servants sharpened. They prepared the stake and got it ready for the final impaling of the criminal. It occurred to the minister. Now the minister came up with the new problem. The problem was that the rich merchant was too thin. He could not fit in the stake. So they need to find the man who would be fit for the stake. So they appealed the king that the man should be executed who would fit at the stake. The king was too worried because of the new problem that how they would find a man who would fit at the stake. Then, what shall we do? He said, when suddenly it struck him that they all needed to do was to find a fat man who would fit at the stake. The servants were sent into the town to find a man who would fit the stake. Their eyes fell on the disciple. When the servants started searching in the town, suddenly they came across the disciple who was so fat because he had eaten a lot of things like bananas, rice, wheat, and ghee. So he became so fat that the soldiers or the sepoys found him fit for the stake. So finally they caught him. Now the disciple was called and he said, what I have done wrong? I am innocent. I am a sannyasi. He was a saint and he should not be punished because he did not do anything. That may be true, but it is the royal order, decree order, that they need to find a man who would be fit for the stake. And they carried him to the court of the king. When he was set for the execution, he remembered the words of his guru because his guru had already warned him that it was a kingdom of fool and they could do anything. This is the city of fool, you don't know what they will do next. But now the disciple was in danger, he would be put to death. When he was waiting for his death, he started praying to his guru in his heart. The guru saw that his disciple was in danger. He saw from his magical power. He could see far that his disciple was at trouble. The guru arrived to save his disciple. The disciple was in scrape. He was in trouble because of his love of food. If he would not have love of food, if he would not have greed of food, he would have left the town with his guru. But because of his guru, he stayed in the kingdom. He became so fat, now he was in trouble. The guru arrived. He scolded his disciple and told him something in his ear. Whispering means to speak slowly. He went to the king and he asked, Sir, who is greater, the guru or the disciple? Of course, the guru. The king said, Guru, but why are you asking this? The guru said, Sir, put me to death first. Now the king was confused that why the guru was asking him to put him to death first. The disciple heard this. He understood the plan of his guru and he started crying, Sir, me first. He started shouting, me first. Now the guru and the disciple started fighting to put them to stake first, to put them to execution first. The king was puzzled that who would be put to death first. Why they were fighting to die first. Now the king asked the guru that why do you want to die? The disciple was chosen because he was a fat man. But what is the reason that you want to die first? The guru said, please do not ask me this question, just put me to death first. The king got to know that there was a mystery. And he asked the wise man that explain me that what was the mystery. The guru said that okay, promise me that you will put me to death first if I will tell you the secret. So the king was taken away from the servant, and the king was told the secret by the guru. He whispered in his ears. He said, Sir, this is the special kingdom. We have never seen a city like this, neither a king like this, and this is the stake of gold. And whosoever will be put to death first, he will be the king of this country next birth. And whosoever will die at the second time, he will be the minister of this kingdom. Then he said, sir, we are fed up of this ascetic life. Ascetic means the saint life. Now we would like to enjoy as a king or as a minister. So that's why we want to put to death. So please put me to death first, because I want to be the king of this kingdom in the next birth. So now the king got to know that there was a secret, there was a mystery, that the Guru wanted to die first. So tomorrow we will read from page number 25th para, last third para. Okay, read these pages thoroughly.